Welcome to Immigration Invasion, a podcast where we discuss the ridiculous and absurd aspects of immigration law in the U.S. We're your hosts, Din
and Robert Armstrong.
We are very excited to have Irene Mugambi on here today. Irene, thank you so much for agreeing to be on our podcast.
My honor. Excited to be here with two great lawyers.
Awesome. And we're excited to have you for our Halloween special edition episode. We're going to be talking about some spooky stuff today that's going on.
Our Halloween Spooktacular.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I actually had a pair of cat ears and I forgot them. I think they would have been festive.
Yeah. You know what I thought about? I thought maybe it would be funny for us all to dress up, but
I was going to dress like an attorney that goes to a real court. Like,
you're going to need a tie for that.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Absolutely.
The ghost of due process.
The ghost of due process.
The ghost of due process. I love that. I love that. Again, Irene, thank you so much for being on this episode. And Robert and I, we just want to apologize to our viewers, our 10 viewers, or however many viewers we have.
Counting us.
Counting us. We know that we're a little delayed in posting or having this next episode, but life's just got a lot of really crazy, and work got crazy for both of us. But
it got wild. It got wild. So and the other thing is, we don't want to put out episodes just to put out episodes. We want to make sure that it's well thought out and that we are able to get phenomenal guests on here to add to the conversation. So
absolutely. And kind of speaking about phenomenal, so when I was a baby attorney and I started practicing in Dallas, I would go into detained court, and that's where I first saw Irene in action. And back then in detained courts, and I'm sure Irene, you probably remember, like 10 years ago, there weren't a lot of female attorneys taking on detained cases. And I just remember watching Irene, and she was so poised, and even with very difficult judges, she was able to get her point across. And I loved just sitting in and watching and observing her. And I remember being a young female attorney and watching that and being like, wow, that's how where I want to be. And so, Irene, I'm in awe of you. I think you're amazing. You're an amazing advocate.
Thank you.
Yes.
I don't feel like it right now, but yes, it's nice to have women that do this work, because it is hard work.
Absolutely. Irene, do you want to tell everyone who's listening a little bit about your practice? What areas do you practice? What's kind of your focus?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in practice for almost 3 decades. Actually, it's over 3 decades now. And I have a family practice, an immigration practice, so it's sort of a boutique practice. We do family-based immigration. We do detained work. Of course, we do Texas family law as well, so it's sort of a very good intersection. I really don't do employment-based work, but I think I'm more of a court trial lawyer. I like to fight, and so I take on those cases.
And that's awesome. We need lawyers right now that like to fight. I think that is something that we definitely need over the next 3+ years that we have left.
Yeah,
not just administration.
And not just lawyers that are willing to take the cases, but that are willing to work them ethically. And I think that's one of the things that I've always been impressed about with Irene. Don't tell her I said this.
I'm like, oh my gosh, Robert.
Don't tell it. Awesome. Yeah. Between me. Right. So I've also seen Irene, in USCIS and court, but really got to know her more working with Ayla. Going to the National Day of Action and walking around DC and seeing how everybody in Congress just knew her. Like, hey,
well, we got pictures together.
Yeah.
We did do some advocacy. And we knew that, so it was really nice.
Yeah. And you're also the ICE liaison here for the
USCIS.
The USC.
You are.
I'm the ICE liaison.
It is.
I just get us confused It happened. It happened.
No.
Are you trying to pass that on to Irene? You're like, I'm done.
I tried. I tried. I smooth. I tried to slip it in.
Yeah.
She caught me. She gave me the.
I know Robert well enough.
Yeah.
I know where he's going with things. So yeah. So I've done the liaison for the Dallas field office for a while. We've had different administrations where things were good. Had a lot of engagement in some administrations, and we had zero engagement. So we're back on familiar territory.
So is now a zero time? Nice, a zero time.
Now it is not a beautiful time.
Yeah.
It's not a beautiful time. There's a few things can be looked at, but it's not like we would sit down and have a stakeholder meeting. We've lost all the ability to do that because emails are being monitored, and
people are scared.
People are scared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just the current environment. There's good people that work for USCIS, and we don't want them losing their jobs. And there's good people who work at a service center and a State Department. So we are treading very carefully as AILA.
Yeah. Because it's easy. It would be very easy to demonize everybody within this agency, but in a lot of ways, they're also victims. They're also being victimized by the way the current administration is gutting USCIS and EIR. For some strange reason, they're not gutting ICE and ERO, the enforcement operations. But it's tough. And if they fire the good people that work there, then they're going to hire people to replace them. And I mean, just it's a little foreshadowing. I don't really trust them to hire people.
Yeah.
I don't trust them to do a good job to replace the good people we like and are working hard and ethically within USCIS to,
And there's been institutional knowledge that's gone. Some of the good people took the packages. There's, there was a nice little meeting we had here in Dallas with some former employees of the government, and they, they did the right thing leaving on bank. But for those of us that have cases that are pending, it's going to be interesting to see how bad the decisions get and what we see coming down the pipeline, because there's rookie officers there. There's not secondary review going on. And some of these decisions are being arrived at without really a proper analysis and application of a law.
Yeah.
Well, good news is it's only 3 years left.
I really need a tally. I need to get a calendar where I cross off the days.
Like an advent calendar, right? Yeah.
And I look forward to the last. If we don't go into 2028 Trump government.
Yeah.
Which has been proven around by Steve Bannon right now.
Love it. Just a lovely guy, man. It's
just,
And I think it's a great segue into our broken news segment. And so ICE has been on quite the hiring frenzy. There was a recent article in Esquire that was posted online about this. That's titled "ICE is hiring literally anybody," and it's terrifying. So they talk about how many of the recruits, they have really severe criminal backgrounds, and they don't find out about it till later on. And also, I guess part of ICE agent training, they're required to pass a written exam, and it's an open book exam about like the basics of arrest and detention under the Immigration and Nationality Act. And many of them are failing this open book exam, and so, it's worrisome. That is very scary that people like this are being push through.
So I want to just jump in and say that.
Yes.
I think ICE is thugging right now.
This is Clarkson.
Yeah.
I think they are, because they're walking around, and again, I just came out of our CLE UT law conference, and they're walking around with blank wallets. I mean, what blank warrants? Pardon me, not wallets, warrants. So, and the judge in Chicago, the federal judge, has said that there's rules on how they need to conduct themselves, and we do have a legal process. But if you're failing an exam,
An open book exam.
book exam,
Yeah.
what are we looking at here? What kind of caliber officers are out there?
Yeah.
So yes, there's no, I don't think, I think that they are going to continue violating these orders because they don't have the background. What do you think, Robert?
I think $50,000. That's what I think. I think get that money. Like if you're, if you're predisposed for violent, explosive behavior, if you don't necessarily care too much about what the law says you can't do, man, I feel like why not get that money?
And I hate to say this, but the cabinet stops where they can profile has just made it that much more easier.
Yeah.
So
on top of that.
touch on that for, in case we have a listener or two that's not an immigration attorney. What was that decision?
So I'm just going to talk generally about it, but basically the Supreme Court had a hearing on the whole issue of being able to stop people and so forth. And I'm going to, again, very generally say this. Brett Kavanaugh, who is a judge, one of the Supreme Court judges that had a very contested nomination hearing process, basically says that ICE has the ability to stop people that have low, in areas where they think that they are low-paying jobs, if they speak Spanish. And he gave an example of the cities that may be heavily populated by foreign nationals, like, it's to be expected, sort of. So these Kavanaugh stops basically say they could stop you if they have, I don't know, in my opinion, if they can profile you, they can stop you. I could be stopped, you could be stopped, we could be stopped.
Yeah.
Why is that? Never mind. That's
It's ridiculous. I don't think that's reasonable suspicion. I don't think
No.
that's probable cause, especially if I'm driving,
Exactly.
And this is not just, that was months ago, so it's not just wild speculation. Now we know that a lot of U.S. citizens get picked up.
How many have been arrested?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no accountability whatsoever when these stops impact a U.S. citizen. But it's
people are suing.
Yeah.
People are suing, and as lawyers, we encourage our naturalized clients to carry their copy of their passport card, get that, spend the money getting it. But I think it's ridiculous because if you're American, you're American, and there's nothing un-American about all of us that look different. They're all white.
Yeah.
Nothing un-American about us.
Yeah.
There are people who were born here that have accents because their parents took them outside the country when they were little. We see that all the time.
Yeah.
Kids that are born here and they go to Mexico. They come back for high school or college or whatever.
Well, people that
They're not any less American.
Yeah, people that grew up on the border.
Yeah.
And you're from El Paso.
I am.
So this,
Yeah.
So, it's ridiculous. But yes, going back to your point, that is the failing, that these dropouts.
Yeah.
These people flunking open book exams.
Yeah.
The ones out there harassing people.
Yeah.
And they're masked.
Right.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so passionate about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there, Irene and we were all talking about the excellent video footage, though, in the age of cell phones that have come out in the cities that ICE is, marching into and harassing people. And boy, I will tell you, people in Chicago and New York are not having it. Like they are pushing back.
They're running them off.
Yeah, they refuse to be intimidated. They're not passing the open book test about being intimidated. They are not understanding that that's what they're supposed to be doing.
Right. And they're honking horns.
Yeah.
They're scaring them. That's what they're doing, is they're scaring ICE officers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know in LA, they had somebody that was driving around with a loudspeaker behind. Anytime she noticed somebody that looked like they were ICE, she cracked on the loudspeaker and started telling everybody, "Hey, this guy's ICE. Immigration's here." You know, it's silly, but it warms my heart. I'm glad to see that resistance is still happening.
Yeah, and we gotta fight back.
Yeah, because the resistance from the pushback from official channels is going to be slow, right? You can violate the law much quicker than the law can respond and push back. So
Yeah.
This is not our country. This is not how we live here.
yeah,
And I think a lot of people are starting to see that this is not how we treat each other. You don't treat your landscaper like this. You don't treat your housekeeper this way. These are innocent people
Yeah.
that get
Absolutely.
dragged into some political mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry you brought me on as a guest.
Yeah.
I'm non-soft.
That was the plan.
Yeah.
This was the plan all along. Actually, we're tired. We're low energy, and we've always got a spark.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Bring it on, guys.
Yeah.
And I think Irene was the one that was telling us about this. They're speaking of kind of hiring practices. I guess Okla's been on a hiring spree as well. Irene, can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, so I was in court, I want to say about a month ago. I had an individual hearing. I had 2 trial attorneys in the trial table, counsel's table. I'm over here by myself with my client, and then 2 more trial attorneys come in and sit in the back. So there were 4 trial attorneys in the courtroom.
It's your reputation.
Yeah.
And when you took that Irene's
Going on. So that's when I noticed something was afoot.
Okay.
So then, come to find out, there's been a big hiring freeze. We've got over, don't quote me.
Wave.
I'm sorry, hiring wave, not freeze. Big hiring wave. You're right. There is over, I can't give you an exact number, but it is a lot of trial attorneys, well over 81. The word is it's over 100, well over 100 here in Dallas. So, our docket here, how many cases do we have right now? Is it like over 250,000 right now? Somewhere on that.
Yeah.
So I'm just predicting, I may be wrong, but I think that docket is going to really get tackled one or another.
I think
they've got manpower now.
so, and I think some of them might be covering the Oklahoma area, because I know they're expanding Oklahoma. There's, I think, a new detention facility.
Yes, 2 detention facilities coming up there.
Yeah,
Yes.
so there's going to be a need for new officers new ACCs up there.
Correct.
But
And they're also going to be doing detained work, I think.
Right.
Like some of the judges I hear here may be doing detained work.
it
wouldn't
surprise me. It wouldn't surprise you.
I
At
don't
this
know.
point,
Yeah.
it's the numbers don't make any sense. We have, I think, 7 immigration judges in Dallas right now. Like,
It's up to 10.
we're up to, okay, but is that including the remote judges, or, because I know with Judge Garcia, he appears remotely, but like in the
So we
Dallas
have-
court.
Right. So we have 3 on 4.
Mhm.
And then we have 6 on 10. So that's 9.
Oh, okay,
With
but
the 2 that are out.
okay, exactly. So
Right.
2 that are out, so that
Yeah.
leaves it at 7.
Yeah.
So right now there's 7 judges,
Right.
and there's going to be like 89,
Right.
4 dozen, six score, ICE attorneys for each judge. So
Yeah.
clearly, with that balance,
Ratio.
that ratio, it's not designed to make it so that everybody's getting a fair hearing. They're just throwing manpower at trying to get cases terminated and get people with removal orders. So
That's exactly right. I mean, and I think that is not right, because we all have a Fifth Amendment right to have a full-blown evidentiary hearing. And I understand this is like a summary judgment mode. I feel like it's summary judgment.
Yeah.
They're just coming in and you better have all your ducks in a row. But for me, I think of a 42B, I think you have to have a full evidentiary hearing.
Absolutely.
And I also think an asylum, I mean, I understand PSG is probably part of their concerns, but I still think that you are entitled to, and this is what I'm going to suggest to our colleagues, and it's just my few years of experience, you could say that. I think we're going to have to start briefing. When we file cases, we're going to have to file pretrial briefs on all these cases, because if they're shutting the door on us, we want to put all those arguments in and have them in writing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that is such a wise practice tip going forward, Irene. I agree with that. I think everything has to be put in writing, because even if we get lucky enough to be able to present that case in front of an immigration judge, I mean, a lot of them are scheduling like 6 or 7 individual hearings a day.
Yes.
And so, I mean, they're clearly not going to be reading what we are submitting. And we want that on record in the case when it goes for appeal and beyond the BIA to circuit courts, whatever it may be.
And I know we have at least 2 judges, possibly more, that will just outright look at your case and go, well, we've got all the evidence here. Do you have any testimony that is going to add to this? Or is it all just say, oh, well, then we don't really need any questions. I'm ready to make a decision. So it's short-circuiting the procedures that are in place to make sure that there's a fair hearing. So we have to brief. We have to put it in writing. Because for whatever reason, people that are against fair trials and due process and laws generally, they hate paper trails. They hate it. So it's just part of the new reality.
I feel like even just going in for a master, it's almost like you have to be ready for an individual hearing.
Yep.
But you have to go like you're going for an individual hearing right now. You can't just do the prima facie of anything.
Yep.
Yeah. That's so true.
Ready to roll with it.
Yeah.
We're not doing bare bones anything.
Particularly these days if it's an asylum case.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to go in and, I had a master, and this is another team of government lawyers on the other side that was sitting in the courtroom.
Well, they know.
And it was a 42B, and, I will say they were not very friendly, because I don't know if they're just not supposed to be talking to us or what. Okay. And they, so I had all my, prima facie, all of my elements, everything was met. All that was stated on the record and, the packets and everything. And they said, well, we don't see that the person is not eligible to apply for cancellation, but we do see hardship not being met yet. And I was like, that is an evidentiary hearing.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, there's testimony, there's witnesses. I mean,
the court has to have an opportunity to listen and hear what the client has to say.
And not just an opportunity. I know it's the opportunity, but it's an obligation. And I know
a meaningful obligation, opportunity. Right.
The judges are under a tremendous amount of pressure. And there's no doubt. And I get that. But our clients aren't the ones, the respondents aren't the ones that should have to pay for that. And I know that judges get irritated when you gum up the works by taking additional time to brief things and ask questions. But now more than ever, it's our duty to do it.
Yeah, it is. And we still have to treat them with respect. So, I mean, the worst thing is to yell at a judge and that'll get you.
Like you're speaking from
reaction. Yeah.
Not yet? Not yet? Okay.
You have to know how to tread.
Okay.
Yeah, we still have to treat them with respect. And we still have to, come in there extremely prepared. I think they do get frustrated when there's members of the bar that aren't prepared. They expect us to conduct ourselves in a certain manner. So at the end of the day, we still have to advocate for our clients the best way possible, but do so respectfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Great.
Yeah. So is that spooky enough?
Oh, it's
we haven't even started.
We haven't even started. Yeah, well, we we're gonna pivot into the spooky section now, right?
Oh man!
Talk a little bit about the tricks and treats that are in the front of our minds, right? Because there's so much, we're not gonna be able to address everything, but the stuff that's like fresh right now.
Yeah.
So starting with the tricks, just kind of listing these one by one. This is not all inclusive, but asylum pretermission, right? So that is, we've kind of been touching on, which is the impetus that judges have been given along with the OPLA attorneys to try to push to have cases terminated before there's a full hearing. And that is, like I said, a judge kind of looks at the case and thumbs through it and goes, no, there's not even enough here for the basic, you're not meeting the threshold, we're going to just terminate the asylum application. And some judges have been using this a little, and one judge has been using it a lot, you know. But that's definitely one of the things that's on our spooktacular list. This one looked like it came out of left field, but this is something that was announced and mumbled about several months ago, and it's here, and it's temporary judges. And it's not, what's scary isn't the fact that the judges are temporary. What's scary is that these temporary judges are military personnel, right? They're attorneys working actively for the military, and in their military capacity, sitting in with only, you know, just 2 weeks worth of training, making decisions on immigration cases. This is big money scary. I keep making the mistake of saying, you know, it's a $10,000 H-1B per H-1B applicant. Silly me. $10,000 ain't scaring anybody now. $100,000, right? So the new fee, 100,000. That's a stack. Like that's a rapper in the '90s money. You know?
Oh yeah.
It is a lot, and they just finally put a way to be able to pay it, because there wasn't a way to do that.
Yeah.
For those that
which has been a trend lately with, it's like, hey, pay us these fees, and they're required, and if you don't pay them, you're going to get deported,
right.
But we're not going to set up any mechanism
Right.
to do it.
Right.
It's like they're coming up, they're being designed by someone that's just used to be paid in like cash in a paper bag,
Yeah.
consequential bills, you know, just drop it by the trash can, you know. So that's one that's definitely got people spooked. Bond, the death of bond, like
wow.
bond for anybody that's come in without inspection, regardless of what years and years of case law have said, bond is almost impossible to get now.
Yeah, the magical word is that mandatory detention. I don't have jurisdiction.
I don't have jurisdiction. Yeah. Mhm.
And you're going like, what in the world
Yeah.
has happened?
Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
they're just misclassifying everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let some kid just walk up off the street and snatch your jurisdiction like that, man. Like, you know, fight back. Go get your jurisdiction. Let's get your brothers and your friends and your homies, and let's go get your jurisdiction back. This one hits personally, because I've got some clients that ran into this. ICE detaining people at check-ins. This is not, and at least here in the Dallas area, I can't speak for everywhere, but in the Dallas area, we've seen a trend over the last couple of weeks where people go in to check in lawfully. They're scheduled to go check in, and these are people that have they're doing things the right way. They're in the right line, right? They've filed their asylum application. They have a hearing coming up. Not a criminal. No criminal history, may have family members here in the U.S., may have ties to the U.S., and it doesn't matter. They get detained.
Yeah.
They're detaining people like crazy, like it's going out of style. And it's sad, because you're punishing the people that are being responsive to ICE's request. You're punishing the rule followers for following the rules.
And they're not bond eligible.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I, before they used to, I think historically, they used to always give women somewhat of a pass.
Right.
And now we are no longer seeing that unless the woman, what I've heard is if she's pregnant, she'll get a pass.
And I think they're still detaining some women now.
Yeah.
Pregnant women.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that they are doing that. And so it's crazy.
So it's pretty horrific because what I had been told is that they are also, if say it's a family, but only one person has an appointment that day, they're telling that person, call your husband. And we're not going to detain him. And of course they're going to detain him. Why are they asking her to call him?
Yeah, we're not going to.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? So,
Yeah.
so the poor spouse gets there and he also gets detained.
Yep.
It's awful.
It's awful. It's so sad.
Well, that's what they get for following the rules. Dummies.
This is really spooky.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. It is. So those are all like big spooky things that are happening. But there's also the small petty stuff, right? Like some little petty spooky stuff, like no more paper checks for USCIS. And I understand we're in a digital age, get that. And I think things were moving that way anyways. But my issue is, number one, make sure that the infrastructure is in place to process all the payments. And I'll bet you dollars to donuts that it's not set up, right? But the other thing is they released this notice to our bar yesterday, and the deadline for paper filings is today. So
Is it at midnight?
probably.
Everything was like 12:01?
Yeah. So we still have time. Let's go wrap this up and go send out some cases with some checks.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Plenty of time. Yeah, it's just super petty for no reason, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just, and you know, my staff's asking me like, well, why? And I'm like, what do you tell them? What do you tell them? Just like,
It's really also hard for us as lawyers on this one. This is where it gets a little spookier too, is that, we all use LawPay for the most part.
Yeah.
And LawPay requires you to have safekeeping on these credit card statements, which I don't keep them because we do that statement, that compliance statement, the PCI compliance statement.
Yeah.
So if you're scanning a file after you've gotten it ready to ship off to USCIS, your client should have a complete copy of whatever you're sending. So you're going to have to remember to take out that form when you're scanning, which is our practice. And almost like you have to scan it, either separately or do two different packets that you're scanning.
Yep.
So that we're not in violation of the compliance requirements for LawPay, because that's on us too.
or you push the burden to the client and you say, hey, you let me know when you've paid this. Here's the information. Here's the website.
But you're sending the packet out too. So,
well, I mean, I'm assuming eventually
their credit card, right?
Yes, their credit card through their portal.
Yes.
Which,
For non-online filings, correct? Yes.
Yeah. So it's. I may be speaking out of turn. I may find out tomorrow. I log in and I'm like, wow, this is amazing, and it's super easy and super intuitive. But I'm going to bet that that's not the case, right?
Yeah.
So
it's going to be slippery and slight, not as smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As smooth.
Mm-hmm.
As they say in German, a Knüstefü.
Yeah.
That's German. As far as that's
As
true.
far as I know, I'm just trying to work and help people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to complicate the government's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they will get petty.
They will get paid.
They will. So, okay, well, there's got to be some positives too, right? Some treats.
Some treats.
And there's two. I'm going to go with the one that's more grounded in reality, right? Because of the dismantling and sabotaging that's happening on the government side, some of the best attorneys that we know that work for them are joining our bar. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hesitate to shout out anybody by name because I don't want them to get detained or something stupid to happen. But these are all people that we've always respected working.
They're good human beings.
Yeah. Absolutely. Good human beings, and they're going to be great advocates. And, we're very lucky that there's been this mass exodus of really good people.
Yeah. And they were pushed, like they felt the push, not just to leave, but to leave and then come to the side where they're helping people. So that's what has me feeling a little bit.
That's a good treat. That's a really good treat.
Yeah.
That's a big treat, I think.
Because some of them know the secret sauce.
They do. They know the weaknesses.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. So that's definitely a treat.
Yeah.
This one, this is not something I think that has a direct legal, tie-in, but this is just good, right? And it's the way that residents of these big cities that are being militarized are responding. And it's not, I'm sure there's a certain news channel that's probably framing it as, people savagely responding in riots, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not really the case. It's just people in these big cities are not going to be pushed around, and we're seeing phenomenal viral video.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to kick out of some of the...
Yeah.
What can I say? Like they are standing up for people.
Absolutely.
Standing up for people.
Absolutely.
What's been your favorite video so far?
I think I spent talking about the same one.
Yes.
The lady out of, she's a New Yorker, I think. She's Brooklyn.
Yes. She had a very strong New York accent, I remember.
Yeah. And she was going to get into the elevator, and I guess something bad had happened in court. Somebody had been detained. And she was really feeling it. Like she was so traumatized by it. So she's walking out and she's just trying to get into the elevator, and the ICE agents are right there. And some officer says, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Do I look like I'm okay?" And she let him have it.
She did. She let him have it. She was not. Yeah. She was telling him exactly how she felt.
Yeah.
About him, about them, about what they were doing. And
about their parenting.
Yeah.
About their parentage and their family lives.
Yeah.
The fidelity back thereof of their spouses.
And she now is going around talking about it. I think she's got like a podcast invitation, but she really was a very strong woman. And I think
podcast invitation.
Podcast invitation. Podcast invitation.
Yeah.
But she saw how people were being treated, people being pushed down, people being ambushed by people who are in masks. And I'm not trying to say I shouldn't do their job. I think it's the manner that it's being done in that all of us are worried about. And making sure that our communities are safe. We want the bad guys to be dealt with. Right. But there's dignity in doing this work, and it can be done with dignity.
Yeah.
If you're following the right philosophy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not profiling people.
Absolutely.
Get a warrant, do the process. There is a way to do this.
Following the law, I guess.
And that's why people are busy in, federal court now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's good news, right?
Yes, that is good news. Yeah. That is good news.
Do you have a favorite?
So, something that comes to mind that I've been seeing a lot of is, when they kind of sent the ICE agents over to Portland, people in Portland they're very funny. They have quite the sense of...
You're about to steal mine.
Okay. They have quite the sense of humor. And this was, I think, so genius of whoever thought to do this. So, the ICE officers officers, they're there, they're in their full tactical gear with their masks, their guns.
Super aggro.
And there are all these kind of, weirdos from Portland, and they're in like the inflatable costumes, like frogs, and they're dancing, and they're having a party. They're having like a DJ. There's like a unicorn, a frog, and just visually, like when you see that and you see these guys with guns, I mean, it's just
love it. You literally in my head.
Guys with guns. Yeah, exactly.
It started with one guy, right? And they had that like aggro line. They're just like, and the guy walks up. He's wearing this inflatable frog suit, and he looks, and he just stands there, and they're looking at him, and he's just standing there, and he's looking at him, and then he starts dancing. It was just, and then they kind of like start walking away. He's just like following them or whatever. So then after a while, like 2 or 3 other frogs showed up. So after a while, there was like a frog brigade.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming they must have run out of frog costumes at the inflatable costume store. So that's when you start seeing, the unicorns and stuff.
Was there music to go with all this?
I'm sure it's Portland. Yeah. Sure.
I think so. I think they did have a DJ at some point, and it was quite the party. And then it was very sad because the original frog guy, I saw a video where he was helping a protester who had fallen down, and then the ICE agents went and pepper sprayed him in the little hole that the inflatable, the hose goes into to inflate it up. And so then they interviewed him afterwards, and he said, well, I'm Mexican. I can handle spicier. It was like peppermint. That's how he described the pepper spray.
Yeah.
So
I love that. And that's honestly, that's the energy I want to bring to this like current, miasma, muck, tar pit that we're in right now. Like I want to have like big frog energy.
Absolutely.
Anytime one of these little petty.
I think the agents went home and thought about that.
Yeah.
I think they went home and said, what were we doing over there?
How could you not?
It was so embarrassing for them.
For these people that were wearing these frog inflatable costumes. But these are just people.
And that's what's insane. That's what's like insanely genius about this. If it's just another person, and like, oh yeah, I sprayed that guy. I don't know what was his face. Just a guy.
Yeah.
But you can't forget the frog you have sprayed. You can't. That just sits with you on your conscience, whether or not you want to admit it. You're the guy that was so bothered by a guy in an inflatable frog costume, and you had to go and pepper spray him in the butt.
Yeah.
That's it. First of all, that's weird. That's weird. Because that's like, if that's what pops in your head, it's probably not the first time that you've thought of somebody.
I do have to say, these ICE agents, they're working so hard. And it's got to really eat them. It's got to eat us.
And here's the problem. And I think all 3 of us here have friends and know and respect people that work on that side.
Yeah.
The problem is, because of the current environment, those good people, all it takes is 1 or 2 extreme bad examples to put them in a bad position. Right? All it takes is that one guy that decided to pepper spray a frog butt, and it made everybody there look bad, even though that was the only person that took that kind of action. Yeah. And so that's where having accountability on their end and having the vetting process is super important. And I hope that it's not eroded over the next 3 years to the point where it can't be repaired, because there are still good people that are doing their job and trying to find humane ways.
And we've got some incredible judges doing great work and following the law of our nation.
Absolutely.
Upholding the law of our nation. And there are some federal tort claim acts that are probably taking place up in Chicago. Mm-hmm. I think there might be Bivens actions taking place in Chicago, because the judge was like, look, you got to wear your cameras because I see what's going on. And I don't know.
I need you to come here every day or
every day.
Every day.
It's every day.
And you got to follow my order. You got to follow my orders. But yeah, so, I still have hope in our nation. Mm-hmm. I still have hope in our legal system. And, I do prepare clients for difficult things happening, because I think we have to be transparent and let them know this is where we are, and you've got your whole 30 years here, and I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've always had to wear a lot of hats as immigration lawyers, but really the hat of being kind of that counselor or therapist, it's like being a grief counselor.
Yeah.
That's really what it feels like.
Yeah.
And it's sad, and it's very hard because a lot of our clients, they look to us for advice, and and we're in a position now where we have to tell them what we're seeing, how things are going, and they're going to just letting them know you have to make the decision that's right for your family.
Right.
And that's really all we can do right now.
Yeah. And I mean, for some people, if they are going to file for benefits, I feel like some of them may be safer doing it from outside than in here.
Absolutely.
If they've got preparations in place, if they built, homes from wherever they came from, they've got something they could do, just you'll have peace of mind.
Absolutely.
It's not worth exposing them, because I feel like we're not in a benefits mode anymore. We've been enforcement. It's been enforcement since January.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And aside
It's a real downward.
enforcement, and aside from the enforcement, it's the cruelty, right? Like it's one thing if we say, hey, you know what, you're probably not going to win this case, and just it is what it is. But it's like you're not going to win this case, and there are bad things that don't need to happen that will probably happen to you on top of that.
And we have to tell them that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of bad news.
Yeah. Yeah. There is. And I think it's important, and this is why I don't want to tell you because you get a big head. This is why I'm so glad Irene and not. She just does. She just does. And then she gives me a hard time about it later.
Or, I love you, man.
I know.
We have our thing going. Yeah. You're a good guy.
Like a big sister that picks on me.
Yeah.
Good guy. I call him Armstrong Law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strong arm. Yeah.
Strong arms. Strong arm, Robert.
Yeah.
Robert. It's been real.
It has been.
Yeah.
It has been.
Yeah.
We really, really appreciate you coming here, but more than anything, one of the reasons we wanted you on the show is your energy, right? Because things are. I'm serious. I'm serious.
I just can't sit still. That's the problem with it.
But it's not just that. There's a positivity to it. It's like, hey, let's maintain some positivity because you've got to keep that energy for 3 more years.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah,
ready to go. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's so easy for us to get caught in an echo chamber of how horrible things are. And when we do that, like it gets us to take our eye off of the small things that we can do, So big frog energy, appreciate the big frog energy.
Big frog energy.
I think we should do that next year, the Spooktacular episode. Let's bring in our frog inflatables.
Yeah, next year. Yes, absolutely.
Coming back.
Yes, absolutely. You know what? That would have been a good idea for the. I know that they do. The immigration bar does the Halloween costume contest.
Right?
Yeah, have like the Portland frogs.
Yeah.
If I wasn't locked out of Facebook, I would have. The Frog Brigade.
The Frog Brigade. Yes,
absolutely.
Well, I guess we don't want to be disrespectful of your time. You're a very important person. All those people in D.C.
All those people in D.C., that's right. Actually, that would be a good place to be, although we're shut down right now.
Yeah.
Those guys up there are getting their paychecks.
Well, and that's why it would be great to be up there because they're not doing anything anyways. Yeah.
Well, I think the Senate's up there. I think, is the House, are they still out? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't think we're reopening before Thanksgiving.
I don't think so either. No.
Yeah.
No. This is gonna, I think, far be the longest. I think 35 days was the prior longest, which was also during Trump's first term, and so yeah.
So. I mean, it just kind of sucks that government workers are getting paid what you're getting paid to be here today.
This is a big payoff right here. This is good. I love being with y'all.
We keep having you, Irene. This was a fun episode.
This was so fun. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, again, wanted to take the time. Thank you once more for coming out, Irene. Appreciate your energy, your vibes, the tips, the tricks, the jokes, the weird looks.
The weird looks.
I hope to have you as a guest here soon, Asma.
Yes, we're very thankful that Irene was able to join us today. I couldn't think of somebody better for like a Halloween edition because we were able to do all the spooky stuff, but Irene made it a lot less scary.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm glad I did. Yes, because you have that great energy. You're able to joke about like some of this crazy stuff that we're talking about. It's not just all like Debbie Downer, like,
It's a therapy session.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is the listeners are providing our free therapy here.
We need the therapy.
Yeah, we do. We do.
So, well, I guess we'll sign off. Once again, for those of you guys that are longtime listeners, all dozens of you, thank you very much. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Music. You can find us on Spotify. We're on YouTube. I think we're on Apple Music. If you're a weirdo and that's your thing. So we appreciate everybody listening, everybody contributing. And if you have any feedback for us, please jump on your platform of choice. Let us know. Unless it's bad feedback, then don't tell us anything. But we definitely enjoy
the bad feedback.
No, not today. Not today. But we appreciate it and appreciate you guys tuning in to Immigration Invasion.